Hello and welcome to this quick revision guide for psychology. This revision guide is part of a set of videos that are designed to help you review and recap on the core ideas of using GRAVEDS when you're doing evaluations in psychology. GRAVEDS will help you in your evaluations of psychology studies, in your evaluations of psychology research methods, but please do remember that GRAVEDS is not used to evaluate theories in psychology. So just use your GRAVEDS points to help with identifying the strengths and weaknesses of your studies and methods. So in this short revision guide, we are going to be looking at the use of reliability. So reliability is mainly in relation to how well the procedure of a particular study has been standardised and controlled in order to allow for replication of that study to enable other researchers to retest the results and thereby through retesting can assure the reliability of the findings. So when you're using reliability to do strengths and weaknesses of any studies, you need to consider the features of a study such as how well there was control of any extraneous variables that could have influenced the results, the operationalisation of the IV and DV so that the results are objectively and quantifiably measured, and of course the standardised procedure and process that was put in place to make sure that all members and participants of a study underwent the same processes. So looking at our first example, that's Milgram's studies of obedience, his baseline 5 and any variations that you've covered. So to standardise his procedure, he used pre-recorded learner responses that were played at various stages through the process. He had standardised sets of verbal prods for the authority figure to give to the teacher to encourage them to continue. And he also used things like standardised voltage increments so that each time every participant had to increase the voltage by 15 volts at a time. So this allows Milgram's research to be replicated. So not only did Milgram replicate his own research and his variations, but his research was also replicated to retest his results for reliability by people like Berger in 2009. Our second example comes from Rosenhan's study of being sane in insane places. Now this is an example where there is less standardisation, so the covert participant observers were gathering qualitative data using diaries when they were on the ward. So they recorded the interactions and observations that they saw at the time that happened to take place between doctors, nurses, themselves and other patients. Now this isn't a standardised procedure and therefore it makes it very difficult to replicate the exact process that these covert participants or the pseudo patients went through, and therefore it reduces the reliability of this particular part of Rosenhan's study. Please remember that the initial admission to the hospital did use a set of standardised prompts and standardised scripting. So that element of his study could be considered reliable, but this bit would not be considered to be reliable. Okay, so that brings you to the end of this quick revision guide as part of your GRAVEDS evaluations of studies and methods. At this point, it would be a sensible idea to go back over all your course studies throughout your course and just have a look and make sure that you're comfortable with the way in which you've applied the evaluation point and that you're happy with the contents that you were using to give strengths and weaknesses. Once you're done, have a look at the other videos for the rest of GRAVEDS.